Okay, here we go.
Hello, friends and listeners. I'd like to extend my warmest greetings to each and every one of you here today and welcome you to the DeepThink.
Hey, for those of you real playing along at home, you can go to realplay.pro and pick today's show. This will let you experiment in real time with personal experiments related to today's topic. Today on the DeepThink, we're going to real play with color. Let's lens down a rabbit hole I like to call what color is the sun? Ouch. Okay, so let's start this episode with a quiz. What color is the sun? Red, yellow, blue, or black? Now, conventional wisdom has taught us that the sun is yellow. Or perhaps we associate the sun with the color red, since we've been taught that red signifies hot. However, it turns out, scientifically speaking, the sun is black. In fact, all stars are. According to earthsky.org, stars are considered to be black bodies, in that they absorb 100% of all electromagnetic radiation, including light and radio waves and so on, which means inherently they are completely dark. Now, if that's not weird enough, it turns out that our sun is actually a blue-green. Based on the color of light it re-emits, meaning its peak wavelength lies clearly in the transition area on the color spectrum between green and blue. Now, we're told that we see the sun as yellow, however, because the light gets distorted as it hits the atmosphere. Now, while this may be news to some of us, Edgar Cayce actually published this information back in 1945. It's also been alluded to for millennia through the ancient mystery schools. Now, though at first this idea that our sun is actually like a blue-green, it seems counterintuitive. Let's dig a little deeper to see if we can find any more clues. Now, you know that color can be associated with musical notes. If we start with red, it correlates to the musical note C. Now, if we assign the colors on the color wheel, or our visible light spectrum, the colors match up perfectly with an octave. And if we play a musical scale based on the color wheel, we find that the three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, create a perfect C chord. Or put another way, if we assign musical notes and colors to the scale do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, red, yellow, and blue fall on do, mi, and sol, meaning blue correlates with sol. Now, let's just take this a step further. If we overlay this model onto ancient teachings, say, of the chakra system, soul correlates to the heart area. Now, the esoteric teachings often present that the heart is the sun within us, as above, so below type thing. Now, if we look at modern science, we find that the human body does, in fact, emit an electromagnetic field called the biofield. And we can further confirm this through modern EEG and ECG scans. Now, as it turns out, the heart makes the greatest contribution to the electromagnetic as well as acoustic human biofield. Now, this little gem of information was actually discovered back in 1887, nearly 130 years ago. Our brain activity also contributes to our biofield, but to a lesser extent than the heart, because its field expression is weaker than the heart. So, what can we take away from this? Let's work backward. The body emits light and sound, and the majority of which comes from the heart. The heart has been correlated with the musical note G. Is anyone else thinking of the Masons here? G correlates with Sol on the musical scale. And Sol, or the sun in Spanish, or the root word of solar, or the root of solar, indicates a connection to the sun. It also connects the sun, or Sol, with the color blue on the color wheel. The same color as the sun's peak wavelength is actually emitting the color of a blue-green. Now, with all of this in mind, you get the feeling there's something we're not being told? And that concludes this episode of DeepThink. I hope you had fun and learned a little something new. I thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.